The lights in the hall were too bright. My palms were sweating, but I smiled anyway. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. I raised my glass. To Emily, I said, my voice trembling, the woman I'll spend the rest of my life with. Everyone clapped. My chest swelled with pride as I looked at her. She was beautiful in her white dress, her smile radiant. But then she put her glass down. "Stop," she said. I blinked. "What do you mean, stop?" She stepped forward, her voice louder this time. "I can't do this." The hall went silent. My father's glass froze midair. My mother's smile died. I swallowed hard. "Emily, what are you talking about?" "I can't marry you," she said, her eyes cold. "You're not enough for me." The words hit me like a knife. Not enough. Gasps rippled through the room. Mark, my best friend, muttered behind me, "What the hell is she doing?" I forced a laugh, desperate to save face. "Emily, this isn't funny." "I'm not joking," she said, her voice sharper now. "You think love is enough, but it's not. You don't have the ambition, the status, the drive. I can't spend my life with someone so ordinary." I felt my chest cave in. My legs shook, but I tried to hold myself up. "Emily," I whispered, "you promised me forever." She tilted her head. Promises change when reality shows up. The guests whispered louder. My aunt covered her mouth, my cousins exchanged stunned looks. Mark stepped closer. "Emily, do you even hear yourself? You're humiliating him." But she didn't flinch. Instead, she glanced at the crowd, then back at me. "It's better you hear the truth now than after the wedding." My throat was dry. "Why are you doing this, here? In front of everyone?" Her eyes flicked past me. "Because I don't want to waste any more time pretending." And that's when I saw him, Daniel. Leaning against the back wall, smirking, his hand casually in his pocket. My stomach dropped. I pointed at him. "It's him, isn't it?" Emily's lips tightened. She didn't answer, but the silence screamed louder than words. Daniel chuckled. "Don't look so shocked, man. It happens." She wanted more. I gave her more. The hall erupted with murmurs. My uncle cursed under his breath. My little sister grabbed my mother's arm, eyes wide with fear. I staggered back. So this was all a lie. Everything we had. The nights we talked about our future. The ring on your hand. Emily's voice was calm, almost cruel. A fantasy. You were convenient, nothing more. Mark slammed his fist on the table. "You're heartless." But I barely heard him. My ears rang. My chest burned like fire. I wanted to scream, but the words got stuck in my throat. "Say something," I whispered to myself, my lips trembling. Emily folded her arms. "What do you want me to say?" "That I care." "I don't." "You were safe, but Daniel is exciting." "That's the truth." I stared at her. "You're killing me right now." She shrugged. "Better now than later." Daniel smirked again. "Man, you should thank me. I saved you from wasting your life." My vision blurred. I clenched my fists so tight my nails cut into my palms. "Enough," I said, my voice hoarse. "Just, enough." The room stayed silent, except for the beating of my heart in my ears. My mother finally whispered, "Let's go, son. You don't need this." But I couldn't move. My legs felt like stone. My dreams, my plans, my love, shattered in front of everyone. Emily's voice cut through again. "Don't look at me like that. This is who I am. If you thought I'd settle for less, that's your mistake." "Less?" I whispered. "I gave you everything I had. She shook her head. It wasn't enough. Mark pulled my arm. Come on, man. Don't give her the satisfaction. But I stood frozen, my chest hollow. I looked around at the faces, pity, disgust, shock. No one knew what to say. Finally, I forced myself to speak. Emily. I loved you more than my own life. And you threw it away like garbage. For the first time, her eyes flickered. Regret? Maybe. Or maybe just annoyance. Daniel wrapped his arm around her shoulder. She made her choice. Deal with it. I stared at him, then at her. My voice cracked. Then both of you deserve each other. I dropped the glass in my hand. It shattered on the floor, echoing through the hall. The sound was final, like a coffin lid closing. Without another word, I turned and walked away. My heart bled with every step, but I didn't look back. The whispers chased me out the door. And just like that, the life I thought I had was gone. I sat in my room, the curtains drawn tight. Days had passed since the engagement, but the whispers still echoed in my head. Mark knocked on my door. Open up, man. You can't hide forever. I'm not hiding, I muttered. The door creaked, and he stepped in anyway. You haven't left this room in 4 days. That's hiding. I rubbed my temples. Every time I close my eyes, I hear her voice. You're not enough. Do you know what that feels like? Mark sat on the edge of the bed. Yeah, it feels like hell. But you're not gonna let her define you, are you? I laughed bitterly. She already did. Everyone at that party saw me get torn apart. My parents can't even look me in the eye without pity. My phone hasn't stopped buzzing with messages, half of them fake sympathy, the other half gossip. He sighed. People will always talk. Let them choke on their words. Easy for you to say. They didn't call you a failure. He leaned closer. Do you believe that? That you're a failure? I clenched my fists. I don't know what I believe anymore. She was supposed to be my future. Now I can't even look at myself in the mirror. Mark's voice softened. You gave her everything. That doesn't make you weak, it makes her blind. I shook my head. Or maybe it makes me pathetic. She wanted more, and I couldn't give it. Maybe she was right. Don't you dare say that, he snapped. She wasn't right, she was selfish. His words hit hard, but the ache in my chest didn't fade. Do you know what people at the office said yesterday? One guy joked that I should write a book, How to Lose Your Fiancée in 10 Seconds. They laughed like my life was a comedy show. Mark cursed under his breath. Idiots. Ignore them. I can't, I whispered. I hear them everywhere. Even in my sleep. I see her walking away. I see Daniel smirking. It doesn't stop. Mark's jaw tightened. Then turn it into fuel. Get angry, get stronger. I stared at him. You think revenge is the answer? I think living better than them is the answer, he said. Revenge doesn't always mean blood, it means success. His words sank in, but the fire inside me flickered weakly. I don't even feel like living, let alone succeeding. He grabbed my shoulder. Listen to me. Don't let her win twice. First she humiliated you, now she's breaking you down in private. Don't give her that satisfaction. I met his eyes, but mine were hollow. And what if I don't have the strength? Then borrow mine, he said firmly. I'll carry you until you can stand on your own. Silence filled the room for a moment. My chest tightened, but something in me cracked open. I whispered, why does it still hurt this much? Because you loved her, he said. And love doesn't switch off overnight. I pressed my hands against my face. I hate her. I hate myself more. I should have seen it coming. No, he said sharply. Don't twist it like that. She lied. She betrayed. That's on her, not you. Tears burned my eyes, but I didn't let them fall. Then why do I feel like I'm drowning? Mark exhaled. Because betrayal cuts deeper than anything else. But pain isn't permanent. One day, you'll breathe again. I lay back, staring at the ceiling. What if I don't want to wait for one day? His voice lowered. Then make today the start. Stand up, even if you're shaking. Show them you're still here. The silence stretched again, heavy but not empty. For the first time since that night, I felt a spark, not hope, not yet, but anger. I want them to regret it, I whispered. Mark nodded. Good. Hold on to that. Let it push you forward. I clenched my fists tighter. The pain was still sharp, but beneath it, something darker stirred. Maybe he was right. Maybe I could turn this pain into fire. But at that moment, all I knew was this: I wasn't the same man anymore. Mark slammed the dumbbell back onto the rack. That's it. 10 reps, don't stop now. My arms trembled. Sweat dripped down my forehead. I can't. You can, he cut me off. Push, damn it. Every time you think of quitting, remember her face. I gritted my teeth. Emily's cold words echoed in my head, you're not enough. My chest burned, but I forced the weight up one last time and let it crash down. Mark clapped my back. See? You didn't die. That's progress. I sat on the bench, breathing hard. Progress feels like hell. Good, he said. Hell builds stronger men. For weeks, he had dragged me to the gym, to business seminars, even to late-night runs. Half the time, I wanted to quit. But every time Emily's laugh or Daniel's smirk replayed in my head, something inside me snapped, and I kept going. That night, over coffee, Mark leaned across the table. You still angry? Every second, I admitted. Good. Anger is fuel. But if you let it rot inside, it kills you. Turn it into power instead. I stirred my coffee. Power doesn't erase humiliation. No, he said, but success buries it. His words stuck with me. The next morning, I sat at my desk, staring at my laptop. For too long, I'd been drifting, working without direction. Now, I opened a blank page and started writing plans, business ideas, skills to learn, goals to chase. When Mark called, I answered with a grin. I'm done drowning. About time, he said. Now prove it. The following weeks blurred into sleepless nights. I studied after work, I networked with people who intimidated me, I read until my eyes burned. Failures came fast, presentations that bombed, deals that collapsed, nights I wanted to throw everything away. One night, I slammed my laptop shut and buried my face in my hands. I'm wasting my time, I muttered. Mark, on call, snapped back. No, you're not. You're building. Rome wasn't built in a week. I sighed. You make it sound easy. Hell no, it's not easy, he said. But one day, she'll see you and realize she threw away gold. That's the day you'll thank yourself for not quitting. His words lit a spark. I opened the laptop again. Months passed. My body changed first, shoulders broader, muscles firm, a strength I hadn't known before. I caught my reflection in the mirror one morning and whispered, not enough, huh? The man staring back didn't look broken anymore. Later, Mark noticed too. You're different, he said at the gym. I smirked. Different good or different bad? Different dangerous, he said. Keep going. At work, things shifted slowly. I pitched ideas, some failed, some gained traction. The first time a client shook my hand and said, impressive work, I almost laughed out loud. It wasn't victory yet, but it was proof, I wasn't worthless. One night, after closing my first big deal, I called Mark. We did it. He chuckled. You did it. I just yelled at you when you tried to quit. I leaned back in my chair, exhaustion mixing with pride. Feels different this time. Not like I'm running from pain, but like I'm building something real. That's because you are, he said. Pain built the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. I closed my eyes, Emily's face flashing again. But this time, instead of stabbing pain, I felt something sharper, resolve. She gave me the best gift, I said quietly. What gift? The push to become someone she'll never deserve. Mark laughed. Now you're talking like a man. Still, the nights were heavy. Sometimes I lay awake, remembering the humiliation, the whispers, the way my parents looked at me after the party. My chest would ache, my fists would clench. But instead of drowning in it, I whispered to myself, one day, they'll regret it. And then I'd get up and work harder. The fire inside me wasn't just anger anymore. It was survival. It was hunger. It was the promise that I would never be broken again. The ballroom buzzed with laughter, glasses clinking, deals being whispered in corners. My suit fit sharper than it ever had, my watch gleamed, but beneath it all, the memory of that night still lived in me. Big crowd, Mark muttered, handing me a drink. Yeah, I said, scanning the room. Another circus. That's when I saw them. Emily and Daniel. Standing near the bar like ghosts from a nightmare. Mark followed my stare. Well, look who crawled out of the past. Emily's eyes locked on me, widening. Her lips parted as if she'd seen someone she didn't recognize. Daniel smirked, but his tie was loose, his smile forced. Mark leaned in. You want to leave? I shook my head. No. Not this time. Emily moved first, weaving through the crowd until she stood a step away. It's been years. I kept my voice calm. Yes, it has. Her gaze traveled over me, from the tailored suit to the steady way I held my glass. You look different. People change, I said. Some for better, some for worse. A flicker crossed her face before she forced a smile. I didn't expect to see you here. I'm part of the hosting committee, I replied. My company sponsored this event. Her smile faltered. Your company? Yes. The one I built. Before she could answer, Daniel joined us, sliding an arm around her waist. Well. If it isn't the ghost of engagements past. Mark scoffed. Still running your mouth, Daniel. Daniel ignored him. His grin stretched, but his eyes darted around nervously. I heard you've been busy. Climbing your way up, huh? I took a sip of my drink. Well, you've been, doing what exactly? His jaw tightened for a second before he laughed. Still sharp with the tongue, I see. Emily's hand twitched against his arm. Let's not make this ugly. We're all adults here. I met her eyes. Adults don't humiliate people in front of a crowd. Her cheeks flushed, but she kept her smile plastered on. That was years ago. We were young. You were cruel, I cut in. There's a difference. For a moment, her mask slipped. Regret flickered in her eyes before she looked down. I didn't know what I was doing. Sure you did, I said softly. You just didn't care. Daniel shifted beside her. Why dig up the past? We're all successful now, right? Some of us, I said, watching his smile twitch. Mark chuckled. Others are just pretending. Daniel's face darkened. Watch your mouth. I tilted my head. Or what? You'll smirk me to death again. Emily placed a hand on his chest, her voice tight. Stop. Please. Her eyes returned to me, softer now. I'm glad you're doing well. I nodded once. Better than well. The silence between us was sharp, like glass ready to break. I felt bitterness crawling in my chest, pride standing tall, and temptation whispering to rub their faces in my success. But I swallowed it back. Enjoy your night. I turned, pulling Mark with me. He grinned. You handled that like a king. Did I? I asked quietly. Because inside, I wanted to tear them apart. That's the point, he said. You don't need to. They're tearing themselves apart already. Didn't you see his face? He's cracking. I thought of Daniel's twitching smile, Emily's faltering eyes. For the first time, I believed Mark might be right. But even as I walked away, their shadows clung to me. The past hadn't let go yet. And maybe, it never would. The coffee shop smelled of roasted beans and fresh bread. I'd been there only to clear my head, laptop open, papers scattered. But then she appeared, Sophia. She wasn't loud, didn't try to stand out, yet somehow the room tilted slightly when she walked in. She caught me staring when she passed by. Mind if I sit? She asked, pointing at the empty chair across from me. I hesitated. You don't even know me. She smiled. That's how knowing people usually starts. I chuckled despite myself. Fair enough. Go ahead. She set her cup down. You look like you're solving the world's problems. Just drowning in numbers and deadlines, I said. Not very heroic. Numbers can be heroic, she said, sipping her coffee. They keep things running. Her voice was steady, confident, but not arrogant. It disarmed me. So, I asked, do you often sit with strangers? Only the ones who look like they need it, she said. That caught me off guard. Do I look like I need it? Her eyes softened. A little. You look like you're carrying more than what's on that screen. I leaned back. You're observant. I try. Life's easier when people pay attention to more than themselves. The words lingered. So different from Emily's constant hunger for appearances. I looked away. I've had bad experiences trusting people. She tilted her head. Then don't trust me right away. Just talk to me. Simple. No pressure. My chest loosened a little. We ended up talking for an hour, about books, food, little annoyances. Nothing forced. Nothing fake. When she finally stood, she said, I'll be here tomorrow. Same time. I surprised myself by nodding. I might be too. The next day, I was there first. She laughed when she arrived. Waiting already? Careful, you'll make me think you like my company. Maybe I do, I admitted. Her smile was genuine, not calculated. Then I guess I'll stay. As the days passed, our conversations deepened. Why do you keep looking away when I ask about your past? She asked once. I sighed. Because some parts are ugly. Ugly doesn't scare me, she said. Fake does. Her honesty made me uneasy, but also safe. I tested her. What if I told you someone I loved betrayed me? Then I'd say you're human, she replied. It happens. Doesn't mean you stop loving, just means you learn who deserves it. Her words cut through me. Easier said than done, I whispered. I didn't say it was easy, she said. But walls keep out the good along with the bad. I stared at her. Why do you care? She shrugged. Because I see someone worth caring about. That night, I couldn't sleep. Emily's face haunted me, her cold smirk, her dismissive tone. Yet Sophia's voice echoed louder, reminding me that not everyone wanted something to use or break. One evening, as we walked out together, she asked, do you always carry this armor? What armor? I asked. The one that makes you sound strong but keeps you distant. I looked down. I guess I'm afraid. Of me? She asked gently. Of what you could become. She stopped walking. I'm not her. The silence pressed between us. I finally said, I know. I just don't trust myself anymore. Her hand brushed mine, tentative. Then let me show you, not tell you. I didn't pull away. Weeks turned into months. She became a fixture in my life, a quiet light that never demanded but always gave. One night at dinner, she looked me straight in the eye. What do you want from me? I froze. What do you mean? You keep letting me close, then pushing me back. I need to know if you're opening a door or building another wall. My throat tightened. I'm scared to need someone again. Her voice softened. Needing someone isn't weakness. Choosing the right person is strength. I whispered, and what if I'm wrong again? Then we both learn, she said. But I won't hurt you for sport. That's not who I am. Her certainty shook me. I looked at her, really looked. The warmth in her eyes wasn't an act. It wasn't about money or success or reputation. It was about me, just me. I don't know how to let go, I admitted. Then let me help, she said. Later, as we walked under the streetlights, she slipped her hand into mine fully this time. I didn't resist. You feel lighter, she said softly. Maybe, I admitted. Or maybe I just finally stopped fighting the idea that someone could care without wanting something back. That's a start, she said. And for the first time in years, I believed it. I overheard it first at a client lunch. Two men at the next table leaned close, voices lowered but sharp enough to cut through the clatter of dishes. Daniel's in trouble again, one whispered. Investors pulling out, shady deals piling up. The other chuckled. And he's still chasing women like he's untouchable. I kept my eyes on my plate, but my stomach tightened. Later that week, a colleague pulled me aside. You hear about Daniel? Rumors say he's cheating, company bleeding money. Emily must be losing her mind. I shrugged, though curiosity burned. Not my concern. But the words followed me like shadows. It was at a charity gala that I saw her again. Emily. She stood near the bar, glass in hand, smile too stiff, eyes ringed with exhaustion. When she noticed me, her expression faltered. Then she walked over. I almost didn't recognize you, she said softly. You look different. Different tends to happen when years pass, I replied. She forced a laugh. Still sharp with words. I looked at her carefully. Her dress shimmered, but the shine didn't reach her face. You seem tired, I said. Her lips tightened. Busy life. You know how it is. I nodded but stayed silent. After a pause, she asked, do you still think about the old days? No, I said flatly. I've moved forward. Her eyes flickered, regret hidden behind bravado. Daniel's business is just complicated. People love to exaggerate. Rumors don't start from nothing, I said. She bristled. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Watching us struggle. I met her gaze. I don't need your downfall to feel alive, Emily. I already found my peace. For a second, her guard cracked. I wish I had that peace. The word surprised me. She wasn't gloating, not tonight. She sounded tired, worn, almost human again. Maybe it's not peace you need, I said carefully. Maybe it's honesty. Her eyes watered, but she blinked it back. You always knew how to cut through me. I stayed quiet. She sighed. Daniel isn't who I thought he was. But I made my choice. I can't undo it now. You can always change your path, I said. Change, she laughed bitterly. After building my entire life around him. After turning my back on you. The bitterness stung, but I didn't let it show. Then you live with the weight. We all live with the weight of what we choose. She stared at me, searching for something in my eyes, but I gave her nothing. Finally, she whispered, "Do you hate me?" I thought about Sophia, her warmth, her honesty, the light she gave me without demanding anything in return. Then I thought of Emily, calculations, pride, betrayal. "No," I said. "I don't hate you. But I don't need you either." The silence that followed was heavy. She swallowed hard. "You've changed. Or maybe I just stopped letting myself be broken," I replied. Emily's mask slipped again. "I envy that." I nodded. "Envy won't fix your cracks." Her glass trembled slightly in her hand. "I just wanted you to know. I'm sorry." The words hung in the air, late and fragile. I took a breath. I hear them. But I don't live in that chapter anymore. She turned her face away, voice barely audible. I wish I could say the same. When I left the gala, Sophia called me. "How was the event?" she asked. "Strange," I admitted. I saw Emily. Her tone was calm. And she's not the same. Crumbling, really. I almost didn't recognize her. Sophia was quiet for a moment, then said gently, "Karma has its way. But don't let her cracks pull you back into hers." I smiled at the wisdom in her voice. "Don't worry. I'm standing on solid ground now." "Good," she said softly. "Because I like the man you've become." And in that moment, I felt the full weight of the contrast, Emily's fading world, Sophia's steady light. One belonged to the past. The other was my future. I wasn't expecting her. I had just stepped out of the cafe when Emily appeared, blocking my path. Her voice trembled. "We need to talk." I exhaled slowly. "About what?" "About us," she said. "About what we used to be." "There is no us anymore," I replied. "That chapter's closed." Her eyes darted nervously. "Don't say that. You don't understand." "I understand perfectly," I cut in. "You made your choice." She swallowed hard. "I was young, foolish. I thought I was choosing stability, security. I didn't know that I was enough." My voice was sharp. "That loyalty meant more than wealth." She flinched. "I regret it, every day. Seeing you with her." "With Sophia?" I asked coldly. "Yes," she admitted, her eyes glistening. "She gets the version of you I threw away. That kills me." Her words pierced me, reopening wounds I thought had healed. I clenched my fists to steady myself. "You don't get to envy her," I said quietly. "She values what you never did." Emily's voice cracked. I was stupid. I thought love had to be grand, perfect, untouchable. Daniel promised me everything, but he's not who I thought he was. I shook my head. "And now you want me to pity you?" "No," she whispered. "I want you to see that I still care." I never stopped. My chest tightened, anger and sorrow colliding. "You stopped the moment you walked away." She reached for my arm, but I stepped back. "I was scared," she pleaded. "Scared of failure, scared of choosing wrong." "And you chose wrong anyway," I snapped. Her tears spilled. "Please, just say you don't hate me." Before I could answer, a familiar voice sliced through the air. "Well, isn't this touching? Daniel." He strolled up, smirk plastered on his face, arrogance dripping from every step. "Emily crying to her ex. Pathetic," he sneered. Emily stiffened. "Daniel, not here." "Oh no, let's do this here," he said, stepping closer. His eyes locked on me. So you're the one she can't stop talking about. I held his stare. She doesn't need to talk about me. You already know you're losing her. He laughed. Losing her? Please. She chose me. You're just the ghost she clings to when she's bored. Emily's face twisted. Daniel, stop. But he ignored her. Look at you, he said, sizing me up. Still playing the noble hero? She outgrew you. That's why she came to me. I clenched my jaw but kept calm. If being betrayed is what you call outgrowing, then yes. She outgrew me. Daniel chuckled darkly. No wonder she left. You're weak. Something inside me hardened. I straightened my shoulders, voice steady. I was weak. Not anymore. His grin faded slightly. I took a step forward. You think power is money, lies, manipulation. But real strength? It's surviving what should have destroyed me. It's looking you in the eye without fear. Emily whispered, stop, both of you. But I didn't break my gaze. You don't scare me, Daniel, I said firmly. Not with your insults, not with your so-called empire. Because I don't measure my worth by people I can buy. I measure it by people I can trust. His jaw tightened. And you think she's trustworthy? He jabbed a finger toward Emily. She was once, I admitted. But that woman doesn't exist anymore. Emily gasped. Don't say that. I looked at her, my voice gentler but unshaken. You're not the Emily I loved. That version of you died the day you betrayed me. Her tears flowed freely now. I didn't mean to destroy us. You did, I said softly. And I survived it. That's the difference between then and now. Daniel scoffed. So what, you want her to crawl back? You want to parade her around as proof you won? I shook my head. I don't need her back. I don't need revenge. I've already won by walking away. Emily's voice broke. Then what am I to you now? I paused, the ache in my chest real but no longer unbearable. A memory. Nothing more. Her face crumpled. Daniel smirked again, though less confidently this time. You hear that? You're nothing. Maybe I should thank him for reminding you where you belong. Emily turned on him, fury flashing. Where I belong. You've lied to me, cheated on me, dragged me into your mess. Don't you dare act like you're above him. His eyes widened. Careful, Emily. No, she snapped. I gave up real love for you. And all I got was regret. Her words hung heavy, even Daniel had no quick comeback. I exhaled slowly, voice calm. I don't need either of you in my life anymore. I have someone who loves me without conditions. That's enough. Daniel scoffed, but I saw the crack in his arrogance. Emily just wept silently. I turned to leave, but Emily's voice trembled behind me. Will you ever forgive me? I stopped, back still turned. Forgiveness isn't the same as forgetting. I've forgiven you enough to move on. That's all I can give. And then I walked away, heart steady, spine unbowed. For the first time, I wasn't defined by her betrayal or his mockery. I was defined by the strength I had built from it. The man she rejected no longer existed. And I wasn't looking back. I first heard the rumors at the cafe. Daniel's company was collapsing, debts piling up faster than he could hide them. Sophia set her cup down and leaned toward me. Have you heard? Daniel's investors are pulling out. I raised an eyebrow. Already? She nodded. Apparently, some of his closest friends turned on him. Deals fell apart, contracts cancelled. He's drowning. I sat back, letting the words sink in. So it begins. Her eyes searched mine. Does it make you happy? I paused before answering. Not happy. Just, inevitable. Later that week, I saw them. Daniel and Emily, outside a restaurant, arguing in the open. His voice was sharp, hers cracked with desperation. "You promised me," she shouted. "You said we'd never struggle." Daniel snapped back, "I didn't know they'd betray me. Everyone bailed, friends I trusted for years." I leaned against the corner wall, unseen, listening. Emily's tears streaked down her face. "And what about me? You dragged me into this. You told me leaving him was the right choice." His jaw tightened. "Don't blame me for your decisions." She laughed bitterly. "You were supposed to be the better choice." He turned on her with venom. "I never forced you. You wanted the life I offered. Now live with it." Her sob echoed, sharp enough to cut through me. I whispered to myself, "Karma doesn't miss." That night, Sophia called me over to her place. She placed her phone on the table, showing me headlines. "Daniel accused of fraud," she read aloud. "Creditors demanding payment. Associates filing lawsuits." I shook my head. He built his empire on lies. Of course it's crumbling. Her gaze lingered on me. "So, do you feel vindicated?" I exhaled. I thought I would. But watching it, I don't feel joy. Just, closure. She reached across the table, her fingers brushing mine. "Because hate doesn't heal. It only chains you to the past." I looked at her hand, warm against mine. "Then why does part of me still ache?" "Because you cared once," she said softly. "Even betrayal doesn't erase that overnight." Days later, I crossed paths with Emily again. Her face was pale, exhaustion etched into her features. She stopped me. "You've seen the news, haven't you?" "Yes," I answered quietly. Her lips trembled. "I don't know what to do. Everything's falling apart. The house, the money, it's all slipping away." I held her gaze. "Now you understand what it feels like to lose everything you thought was certain." Tears welled in her eyes. "Do you hate me?" I hesitated. "No. Not anymore." Her breath hitched. "Then what do you feel?" "Pity," I said simply. "And a strange kind of peace." She stepped closer. "Peace? How can you feel peace while I'm drowning?" "Because I'm not drowning with you," I answered. "For the first time, I'm free of it." Her shoulders slumped. "I chose wrong, didn't I?" I didn't answer. "I didn't need to." She whispered, "I wish I had stayed." I met her eyes one last time. Wishing doesn't change the past. And I walked away, leaving her standing in silence. That evening, Sophia found me sitting alone at the park. She sat beside me without a word until I finally spoke. "I thought revenge would taste sweet," I admitted. "But it doesn't. It just feels heavy." She leaned her head on my shoulder. "That's because revenge isn't food for the soul. Forgiveness is." I let her words sink in. "Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting." "No," she agreed. "It means choosing not to let their choices poison your heart." I closed my eyes, breathing deeply. For the first time in years, the bitterness inside me loosened. Daniel was falling, Emily with him. But I wasn't chained to their downfall anymore. Sophia whispered, "Let go. You've already won." And in that quiet moment, I realized she was right. I heard the knock at my door late in the evening. When I opened it, Emily stood there, eyes red, hands trembling. She whispered, "Please, can I come in?" I stepped aside silently, and she walked in, her shoulders shaking. "I shouldn't even be here," she said, wiping at her face. But I couldn't keep this inside anymore. I folded my arms. "Then say it." Her voice broke. "I made the wrong choice. Leaving you was the worst mistake of my life. I stayed quiet, letting her words hang between us. She stepped closer, desperation in her eyes. I thought I wanted more. I thought Daniel could give me everything. But all I found was emptiness. He ruined me, ruined us. I finally spoke. No, Emily. You ruined us when you walked away. Tears streamed down her face. I was foolish, blind, selfish. I know that now. But please, tell me it's not too late. I shook my head slowly. It is too late. Her breath caught. You can't mean that. We had something real. Don't tell me it's gone. I met her gaze steadily. What we had was real once. But it died the moment you chose someone else over me. She clutched my arm. I still love you. Can't you see that? I pulled back gently. You love the memory of me. Not who I am now. She sobbed. Then who are you now? I exhaled. A man who finally let go of the pain. A man who doesn't need your love to feel whole. Her lips trembled. So that's it? After everything, you're just walking away. I answered firmly, no, Emily. You walked away. I'm only accepting it. She covered her face, crying openly. I thought you'd hate me forever. I thought maybe, if you hated me, it meant you still cared. I shook my head. I don't hate you. I don't even blame you anymore. But I don't love you either. Her hands dropped, eyes searching mine desperately. Then what am I to you now? Someone I once knew, I said quietly. The silence that followed felt heavier than any argument we ever had. Behind me, I heard footsteps. Sophia stepped into the room, her presence steady, her eyes calm but protective. Emily turned, her voice trembling. You replaced me with her. Sophia answered gently, he didn't replace you. You gave up your place. Emily glared weakly. You don't understand what we had. Sophia didn't flinch. I don't need to. I only know what we have now, and it's real, because it's built on truth, not betrayal. I stepped forward. Emily, this is my closure. I'm not saying this to hurt you. I'm saying it because it's time. She whispered, you're choosing her over me. I shook my head. I'm choosing myself. And she's beside me because she loves who I am, not what I can give her. Emily broke down completely, sinking into the chair. So this is really goodbye? Yes, I said softly. Goodbye. She lifted her head one last time, eyes hollow. If I could undo it all, I would. I sighed. But you can't. And that's why I can't hold on anymore. For a long moment, she stared at me, then at Sophia. Finally, she stood, unsteady but resolute. Without another word, she walked out the door. The silence after she left felt different, lighter, final. Sophia touched my hand gently. Are you okay? I nodded slowly. For the first time, yes. She smiled softly. Because you finally let go. I looked at her, feeling the truth settle deep inside me. Because I finally let go. Sophia leaned back against the balcony railing, her hair catching the evening light. You've been quiet all day, she said gently. What's on your mind? I exhaled, watching the city below. Everything. The past. The future. Us. She tilted her head. Still thinking about them? Not in the way I used to, I admitted. For the first time, their shadows don't feel so heavy. It's like I can breathe again. Sophia smiled softly. That's because you finally let go. I turned toward her. Do you ever wonder why it took so long? Why I clung to the anger, the bitterness? She shrugged lightly. Because you're human. You loved deeply, and when love is betrayed, it leaves scars. But scars don't have to define you. Her words sank in, grounding me. I used to think revenge would heal me. That watching Daniel fall, or seeing Emily regret everything, would give me peace. But it didn't. Sophia asked, so what did? I stepped closer, touching her hand. You. Or rather, what I found with you. A love that isn't built on conditions or lies. A love that feels steady, safe, real. Her eyes softened. And yet, you still carry the scars. I nodded. I do. But they remind me of who I was and how far I've come. I'm not ashamed of them anymore. She squeezed my hand. That's growth. That's strength. For a moment, we just stood there, the quiet wrapping around us like a blanket. I broke the silence. Do you think Emily will ever move on? Sophia sighed. Maybe. Maybe not. But that's her journey, not yours. You can't live for her regret. I nodded slowly. And Daniel, he brought his downfall on himself. I don't even feel anger toward him anymore. Just pity. Sophia studied me. That's how I know you've healed. The man I first met was angry, wounded, carrying the weight of betrayal. But the man standing here now, he's free. Her words hit me deeply. Free. That's exactly how it feels. Like I've risen from the ashes of everything they burned down. Sophia leaned closer. And you built something new from those ashes. I smiled faintly. With you. Her lips curved. With me. I looked out at the horizon, the fading sun painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. It's strange. I thought revenge would be about destroying them. But real revenge, it's not about them at all. Sophia asked softly, then what is it? Rising above, I said. Living fully. Becoming stronger, happier, better than they ever expected me to be. She whispered, that's the sweetest revenge of all. I chuckled quietly. Yeah. And the irony is, it doesn't even feel like revenge anymore. It just feels right. We sat down together, the cool evening breeze brushing against us. Sophia rested her head on my shoulder. So, what now? I thought for a moment. Now. I live. I stop measuring my worth by the pain others caused me. I stop looking back. I focus on building something new, something real, with you. She smiled against me. That's all I ever wanted for you. I turned my head slightly. You never asked me to let go of the past. You just waited until I was ready. That's love, she whispered. Not forcing, not demanding. Just being here. I felt warmth spread through me, deeper than any victory over Emily or Daniel ever could have brought. I used to wake up every day replaying the betrayal, I confessed. Now I wake up thinking about where we're headed. That's how I know I've changed. Sophia lifted her head, her eyes shining. So tell me, where are we headed? I smiled, finally certain. Toward a future we build together. One that's ours, untouched by the past.